Imagine a world of endless ice, towering glaciers stretching across continents, massive animals roaming frozen plains, small groups of humans fighting to survive. This was Earth between 40,000 and 10,000 BC, a time we call the Ice Age. In this episode, we journey back to the world of early modern humans, their struggles, their tools, their art, and the incredible survival story that shaped all of us. Because this is where our story truly begins. Around 40,000 years ago, much of the northern hemisphere was locked in ice. Huge glaciers covered parts of Europe, Asia, and North America. Sea levels were much lower than today. Land bridges connected continents, including one that linked Asia to North America. The climate was harsh. Winters were long. Food was not guaranteed. Yet humans did not just survive. They adapted. They moved in small bands, usually 20 to 40 people, following herds of animals across the tundra. They built temporary shelters from animal skins, wood, and even mammoth bones. Fire was their lifeline. It gave warmth. It cooked food. It protected them from predators. Without fire, survival would have been nearly impossible. By 40,000 BC, early modern humans, often called Homo sapiens, had spread across Africa, Europe, and Asia. In Europe, these early modern humans are sometimes referred to as Cro-Magnons. They looked very much like us. They had high foreheads, smaller brow ridges, and developed chins. Their brains were just as large as ours, sometimes even slightly larger. But they weren't alone. In some regions, they encountered Neanderthals, another human species. For thousands of years, both groups shared parts of Europe and Western Asia. Eventually, modern humans became the only surviving human species, and their journey continued. Survival depended on skill. Ice Age humans were expert hunters. They tracked massive animals like woolly mammoths, bison, reindeer, wild horses. Hunting required cooperation and planning. Groups would drive animals toward cliffs or into narrow passages. Others used spears tipped with carefully shaped stone blades. Later, they developed spear throwers, which allowed hunters to launch weapons farther and with greater force. Nothing was wasted. Meat provided food. Fur became clothing. Bones were turned into tools and needles. Tusks became carvings. These people were not primitive in intelligence. They were innovative. They engineered survival. In freezing temperatures, clothing meant life. Using bone needles, Ice Age humans stitched animal skins into fitted garments. Fur-lined cloaks, boots, and gloves protected them from frostbite. Some groups built semi-permanent dwellings. In parts of Eastern Europe, archaeologists have discovered circular homes made from mammoth bones, covered with hides. Inside, a central fire burned. Families gathered around it, cooking, repairing tools, telling stories. Community was essential. No one survived alone. Perhaps the most astonishing part of Ice Age life was this. They created art. Deep inside caves, far from daylight, early humans painted animals on stone walls. Horses, bison, deer. These paintings were not random scribbles. They show movement, detail, and skill. They used natural pigments, crushed minerals mixed with water or animal fat. Why did they paint? Some scholars believe it had spiritual meaning. Others think it was storytelling. Perhaps it was both. They also carved small figurines from bone and stone. Jewelry made from shells and animal teeth has been found. This tells us something powerful. These humans were not just surviving. They were expressing identity, belief, and imagination. By this time, humans likely had complex language. Hunting strategies required communication. Tool-making skills had to be taught. Stories had to be shared. Language strengthened cooperation. Social bonds became stronger. Groups cared for injured members. Archaeological discoveries show individuals who survived serious injuries, meaning others must have supported them. This was not just a world of survival. It was a world of compassion and connection. As the Ice Age progressed, humans continued to move. Lower sea levels exposed land bridges. One of the most important connected Asia to North America, across what we now call the Bering Strait. Over generations, humans slowly migrated into the Americas. By around 13,000 years ago, people were living across much of North and South America. Humanity was becoming global. Around 12,000 to 10,000 BC, the climate began to warm. Glaciers melted. Sea levels rose. Large Ice Age animals gradually disappeared. This warming changed everything. Humans began experimenting with new survival strategies, including early farming in some regions. The Ice Age was ending. A new chapter was beginning. The people of 40,000 to 10,000 BC were not primitive cave dwellers lost in darkness. They were innovators, artists, hunters, survivors. They crossed continents. They endured ice and hunger. They painted their dreams on stone. And every one of us carries their legacy. Because in understanding them, we understand ourselves.